What's going on, people? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester, and this is your afternoon news show. We've got some very interesting stuff to sink our teeth into, including the potential signing of Joao Neves, and I'm going to tell you why he would be the perfect replacement for Casemiro, including stats, facts, and all that kind of jazz. So make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've also got news on Mainoo potentially winning the Young Player of the Season award. He's amongst a load of other nominees, which I'll get into. So is the Thomas Tuchel doubt creeping in? You know, after the result last night, there's a lot of talk, a lot of harsh talk, in my opinion. I want to kind of balance that out with my perspective. And also, we have some transfer news and speculation towards the end as well. So, as always, keep smashing that like if you're on TikTok, or just get involved in the comment section on YouTube. And you know I'll get to that in a moment. So, we're going to switch screens for this one because we're going to go start off with Joao Neves. That's the hot topic at the moment. And I think he'd be perfect. So, I'm just going to read out the news. Wow, that is bright. 1 second. Fuck me, I'm bright there. 1 second. Let's turn that right down. Why is it so bright? Oh, God. Let me just do that a bit. Anyway, so Man United are looking for a new midfielder, as Casemiro will not be part of their project, and Joao Neves has been identified as the priority to rejuvenate their midfield. They are now tightening their siege on the player. Tightening their siege. Some of the words and phrases journalists come up with, honestly. United have followed Joao Neves and Antonio Silva for several months, but are now focusing more on Neves. Benfica have not received an official bid yet, but that is expected to become a reality soon. Al Nassr are ready to submit a bid around €40 million to Manchester United for Casemiro. Now, as you can see on the screen, age 19 years old, a very good age, lots of room to work with, still raw a bit, got potential, defensive midfielder. Strengths, effective at winning the ball back, averaging 8.49 ball recoveries per match. Very good under pressure, very good with the ball, always available, very courageous, right? And he's a great ball carrier as well. Weaknesses, lack of firepower. He's only found the back of the net once this season, as an expected goal tally of just 0.07 per 90. So you can see there, you know, he's young, so he's obviously going to have things to improve on. But everything I've seen, right, and this includes, let me just bring this stat up as well on here. Because everything I've seen of him, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? Sort that out. Fucking lighters all over the place. I don't know if that's clear enough on your screen. If it's not, let me know and I'll make it bigger. But you can see there every metric with Joao Neves this season. So there's a comparison from Joao Neves this season to Casemiro this season, who's obviously fell off a cliff. But he's better than him in nearly everything. And even the aerial duels. I mean, Joao Neves is only 5'4", I believe, or something like that. And he's not 5'4", fucking hell, he's not tiny. 5'9", sorry. And his aerial duels are still similar to Casemiro. And we know Casemiro's fantastic in the air as well. So I think he would be a really, really, really good replacement. And from the bits that I've seen of him, you know, he's tenacious, great presser as well. Can win, you know, high regains. I think he's right up there with the metrics. Really good on the ball, decisive. The only thing about him is, I think his price tag is going to be quite a bit. I think it's going to be a bit expensive. And I also think other clubs are kind of circling like sharks. I know Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes are both trying to convince him to come to their clubs. And, you know, if you're speaking of reality, if the guy is a winner and he wants to win trophies, right now, and I get this is tough to grasp and talk about, but right now, which is the better? What's the more likelihood that you're going to win a trophy? It's going to be City, in it. Unfortunately, it kills me to say it, but it is. The Ineos project at United could be interesting for him. I also think he would suit our style a lot more than he would with Man City's. The kind of slow build-up, possession-based, anchoring. Not to say you couldn't do that, but you know, City also have Rodri. They have, I don't know what's going to happen with De Bruyne. They've got Foden. They've got Bernardo Silva. They've got Kovacic. They've got Matheus Nunes. So but whereas United, if you go there, you're guaranteed football, mate. You are guaranteed football because we desperately need a replacement in that area. We cannot continue for Casemiro for another season. We just can't do it. I think the majority of United fans would probably agree with that, right? We cannot continue with Casemiro. So this is something we need to seriously look at. And if we can get what's being rumoured there, €40 million for Casemiro, I would snap your fucking hand off for it. Completely snap your hand off for it. Chris Wright saying Mainoo fell off. Tell us something we don't know. I'm a United fan, mate. I'm fully aware of how much we've fallen off recently. But, you know, with signings like this, Joao Neves, I really like the look of him. I think he could be a very good player for Manchester United. Age is great, 19 years old. Obviously, experience would be lacking a little bit because you've got a 19-year-old Kobe Mainoo, a 19-year-old Joao Neves, and then obviously Bruno Fernandes is relatively experienced. It's quite youthful in that area. So maybe he would be. I don't think he'd be one that just goes straight into it. Although I think he's capable of it. You would need also another kind of experienced seasonal player in there. Let's say Joshua Kimmich, for example, just to throw in there, who didn't have the best of nights last night. Struggled a little bit, but again, he was up against one of the best wingers in the world, Vinicius Junior. So he can't really be too harsh. Thank you very much for the music play, Ruben. Appreciate it, brother. If anyone wants to drop us a follow or subscribe to the channel, we're on 4,983 subs, 17 off 5k. 17 off 5k. So yeah, if you could help us achieve that goal, that'd be amazing. I appreciate it. Someone just put a comment in that I missed that I thought was interesting. Let me have a look. Thank you for the roses as well, brother. Are you just on about United Player of the Year here because you're smoking something of overall prep? What? Are you just on about United Player of the Year? No. No, Kobe's voted. No, I'll get into that in a moment. Yeah, you know what? We'll talk about it now because you mentioned it. So let's just fucking get into it. So Kobe Mainoo has been nominated for the 23-24 Premier League Young Player of the Season award. Nominated, hasn't won it. Nominated. Start to life. You think about Kobe when he first came into the team. You remember sort of the Carabao Cup it was when Ten Hag brought him onto the pitch, arm around the shoulder, and he was like, this could be you. You know, we're going to be winning things. Obviously, the winning part didn't necessarily come to fruition, but, you know, he had a vision for the player, and he knew his capabilities, and he's brought him into the team in fairness to Ten Hag, and, you know, he's hit the ground ever since. Now, I remember his first couple of fixtures at United, really, really tough ones. I mean, he had a game, I can't remember his first specific game. Was it Everton? Maybe at Goodison Park after the Premier League points deduction and all that nonsense. And then he played away at Galatasaray, which any player, even the most experienced players, crumble there sometimes. It's a fucking hellhole. And then you had Anfield as well, where he performed really well. So for a 19-year-old kid to go there and perform under that pressure in you know, a United team that isn't the best, that's full props to him. And then you look at the goals that he scored. The one against Liverpool, the fucking finesse on that, you know, Makeda-like, wasn't it, when you watch it back? The goal against Wolves was my favourite one. You know, dribbling, pivoting into showing a different side to his game. Skins like three players and then just tucks it in the bottom corner. Everything about this guy is just pure class and finesse. He is. He's just so smooth and silky with it for a kid so young. And you can see it in his academy days when you go back and watch him. He's the same player. Like, his temperament is just so measured. It's unreal. And then his first goal, was it against Newport, I think, I want to say. But he scored some crackers. And the potential of this guy is insane. Now, granted, I think towards the end of the season, I think my camera's going to go. I'll just switch to this. And then turn the brightness down. I fucking hate it. Imagine spending £1,000 on a fucking camera for it to just battery die consistently. You know what? I hate fucking technology. Anyway, yeah, fizzled out a bit towards the end of this season. I think he's struggled. Not struggled, but I think it's similar with Garnacho. You know, they've just kind of been played into the ground a little bit because we don't have any other options. I think he struggled slightly, but it's going to happen. You're going to have dips with players. It's just young players. It happens all the time. And I fully believe he's going to be an amazing player. Now, before I get into talking about the Euros, because I do think he's got an opportunity. Look at my face there. Right, I'm going to sort this out now. So very quickly, because I don't just want to be talking on a Joao Neves graphic. So apologies, people. Honestly, if anyone who knows me, that's not working apparently. 1 second. Fucking hell. Don't you just, there we go. That'll do. Oh my God, look at the state of that. Look at the state of that. Oh, I'm fuming. Absolutely fuming. That is awful, man. What on earth is going on there? Fucking sort that shit out. What's going on? I'm getting so annoyed. I am getting so annoyed with this. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on. I should have just left it, shouldn't I? Sorry, I've completely fucked the show up. I'm everywhere here. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Now you can just hear my voice and you can't even see me. That'll do. Look at the state of this. Oh. There we go. Worst thing ever. Worst thing ever. And then I've got to reposition it and all that nonsense. I'm so sorry, people. I was talking about Kobe Mainoo. If anyone could see this on YouTube, by the way, what an absolute fucking nightmare that was. Apologies. Apologies to everyone. I really do apologise. But let's get back on track. Let's pretend that never ever happened and that wasn't a mess. And we could just continue the chat that it was about Kobe Mainoo. So yeah, fizzled out a little bit, I think, towards the end. Not his fault. Expected with any kind of young players. I think Garnacho's had a similar thing. I think if you put them in the right environment and water them and make sure they are nurtured appropriately, then I believe they'll be top players. I also think the Euros is a very interesting situation because we know Mr. Gareth Southgate doesn't always goes against the grain quite a lot and goes with his favourites, and we know that situation. But it's almost become undeniable. I mean, you cannot, for the life of me, let me get rid of that. You can't for the life of me start fucking Jordan Henderson or Calvin Phillips, because obviously they've been absolutely dog shit. So Kobe Mainoo for me is a guaranteed starter. He should be. I don't know. I don't think he will. I think he'll probably look at it and say, you know, because I remember they was going to draft him into I think it was the under-21s for the first time, and then there was like questions to Southgate saying, why are you not playing him, or why are you not doing this, why are you not doing that? Move that there. And he just went straight into the team. But so kind of went against his own comments, saying that we need to be careful with these talents, players like Saka and a load of others, and then just brought him straight into it. He had a game against Brazil, didn't he? And who was the other game against? I can't remember. Brazil and fucking hell, who was it? Another team who played in internationals. That's really going to bug me. But he came in, did really well. You know, showed why you shouldn't be playing fucking Conor Gallagher first and foremost. Showed why you definitely shouldn't be playing him. Because he had a stinker for like 60, 70 minutes. Mainoo came on and just looked like he slotted right in. And I think a midfield of Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, and fucking out my memory, Phil Foden. No, not Foden. No, Declan Rice, Kobe Mainoo, Bellingham, and then I'd have Foden, Kane, Saka. Probably that's how I'd start at the Euros. But regardless, whatever, you know, topics and whatever you want to chop and change, Kobe Mainoo's got to start. I want to go to the comments because I'm my fucking brain's flustered here. Man United are poor when you're talking Europe. Mainoo, young player of the year. He's been nominated, so if played for Wolves, no one would give a shit. Fact. You can get 150 to 180 by selling Casemiro, Greenwood, Sancho, and Rashford, and you probably get 80 mil. Where he says, do you generally watch the bloke play? Oh, no, that's not That's to another guy. When Man United finish below Villa, take on Mats Weaver. I've seen it. I've heard a lot of talk about him. I haven't watched him, I have to be really honest with you. Casemiro been linked to Saudi clubs for 30 mil, opinion. Sell him. United ruining Mainoo's career. I won't say we're ruining it. If anything, Ten Hag's protected him and people have moaned about it when he subbed him off in the game. Strong Manc accent there. I don't know if you're trying to be sarcastic. Apologies, people in the YouTube as well. I'm not even gone to. Let me go to the YouTube. I'm not even going in the chat there. I'll read them comments out in a sec. Yeah, if that's like trying to be clever or ironic or whatever, I literally live in Manchester, so I'm 5 minutes away from Manchester. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, mate. I don't know how you could listen to this accent and think that it's not Mancunian. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, Sean, People are saying we'll never spend that type of money on one player. We need to realise it's not all paid up front. If we can avoid the release clause, it's spread over the player's contract. At his age, it's also financially viable as it's long-term investment with a high sell-on potential. It's a very financial stable deal. 5'4", Hobbit gang. Drip very dripped out. Says if Al Nassr pull Casemiro and we sell Greenwood and Sancho, we might have 200 to 180 million pound. I don't know. Do you mean as an overall spend? Because Casemiro, you're probably getting 30, 40 mil max, and that's only if Saudi come in. And then Mason Greenwood, you're probably going to get 30, 40 mil max, and Jadon Sancho, you probably get 40 max, I would probably say. So if you're adding that on top of the budget that we've already got, then you're probably right. But, yeah. Mainoo and Neves was set for a fucking decade, lads. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice. Posted this on our socials, the story and the amount of hate comments. People don't want to be happy ever when it comes to signings, unless it's Ronaldo or Casemiro type stars. Fan Nguyen says Mainoo and Neves could be probably the next Cruz, Modric or Xavi Iniesta. I would really like to see them two as a partnership. Mainoo and Neves. It's very young and they need someone seasoned in there. Also, I look so fucking blurry. Why do I look blurry? I don't understand. No idea. I'll bring this more central. There we go. Anyway, the show goes on. I am Sean saying like a rabbit in headlights. I really am. I'm having a fucking nightmare today. Like I said, I can only apologise. It's technology. And this camera, honestly, Currys are getting the fucking angriest email you've ever seen in your life. Imagine spending over £1,000 on a camera and for it to fucking battery die every 10 minutes. Ridiculous. Mainoo's a good player, but typical United overhyping a player when it's not overhyped. How can you overhype him? What he's done has been fantastic. What is this narrative from opposition fans when United get excited about a player and it's like, oh, he's the best thing ever and he's best. He's arguably been our player of the season in a fucking disastrous season in a team that's been fucking shit. And if we didn't have him, we'd actually be fucked. And we're saying that about a 19-year-old kid. So that is praise for how good he's been. You know what I mean? Like, he's not an average kid. He's one of the best young talents in the league. And that's a fact. I don't give a shit what anyone says. So, yeah. He should be nominated. I don't think he'll win it, obviously, because you've got names in there like Foden and Palmer who've had phenomenal seasons. I think Haaland's in there as well, but then overall play with Haaland's another kind of topic in itself. Well, he should be nominated, for sure. Should be nominated, for sure. The actual people who it is, let me get the full nominations up, because I can't even remember it. So it's Foden, Haaland, Isaac, Mainoo, Udogie, Saliba, Saka, Cole Palmer. Now, you have to be really honest. You know, Mainoo's been amazing, but some of the seasons some of these guys have had. I mean, Isaac for Newcastle's been unbelievable. Foden has been amazing for City. Probably player of the season, in my opinion. And again, it's a City player. I hate saying it, but it's true. Cole Palmer, again, people call him a penalty merchant, but I've watched the guy so much and he's so fucking good. He's so good. His composure on the ball, he's the weight of pass. Everything he does is just like high level. He operates at a very high level and you can tell he come through the City's academy. Bukayo Saka, another not controversial one. I think he's been really good for Arsenal. But some people call him a stat padder. Some people say he needs to work on a couple of things. I don't necessarily agree. I think Saka's really good. Saliba, another one, Udogie. So that's a really tough category, that. I would probably give it to Foden, in my opinion, for an all-around player, like for what he's done this season. And I think he should probably get player of the season, in my opinion. Again, I hate saying it. It's City. But, yeah. The Player of the Season awards. Now you've got Van Dijk, Ollie Watkins, Declan Rice, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Haaland, Isaac, and Ødegaard. That's a tough one, that, isn't it? Who gets your Player of the Season? Let's get a vote going in the YouTube and the TikTok. Talk to me, people. Who are we saying? And I'll get a general consensus and I'll see what the majority is. Let's see. Ba-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Let's go to the YouTube. What we saying? 16 viewers currently at the moment. Please do smash a like in the video and subscribe to the channel. We're 17 off 17 off 5,000, and it'd be amazing if we could do that today at some point. We've got the Arsenal preview later on, which is going to be fun. We're going to get a couple of lads on for that, so make sure you come and join us. And if you are on TikTok, and you can check us out on YouTube, we do lives every single day, twice a day. We've got previews, we've got live pre-match, post-match analysis, stuff outside the ground, everything you want from a football channel we've got. So make sure you check it out, please. It's just embarrassing saying Mainoo should be Young Player of the Season. I didn't say he should be Young Player of the Season. I said he's nominated. I swear people just come in, don't even read anything, and then just type something, and just to get a reaction. That's the TikTok world for you people. There's no common sense. There's no, yeah. Abibi Diaslo says, I need to what? I thought it was say I need to touch Thomas then. I need to Thomas touch. Well, come to United. I think Thomas Tuchel to come to United. Right, let's talk about Thomas Tuchel. No. Let me get the votes in first. Sorry. Player of the season: Foden, Haaland, Isaac, Ødegaard, Van Dijk, Ollie Watkins, Rice, Palmer. What are we saying? What are we saying? No one's voted yet. You're all watching. You're all bloody quiet. I'm going to go Foden. I think Foden should get Young Player of the Season, and I think Foden should win Player of the Season as well. I think he should get the double. I look at all the others. Declan Rice is obviously a debate. What he's done for Arsenal, I think he's definitely comes. I mean, Ollie Watkins had a fucking fantastic season for Villa as well. Goal involvements, you know, and assist as well. Ødegaard's been great for Arsenal. That's really tough. It's really tough. Yeah, I'd probably, I don't know. Foden's the one that sticks out for me. Haaland says Nick Wilkinson. User 608 says Palmer easily. Andrew Robinson says Palmer will get the double. He's carried Chelsea. A lot of people going for Palmer. Interesting. What's everyone saying on YouTube? Come on. TikTok's beating you here. Foden's been amazing this season, says Wild. I agree, he's been phenomenal. I think you look at all the players that are on there. Your Foden's, Haaland, Isaac, Ødegaard, Watkins and that. I think Foden combines a lot of the qualities. And he can play all across the front line. He can play in midfield. Van Dijk, by far, I mean, he's had a good season, but I wouldn't say he's player of the season. Won a Carabao Cup and come third, mate. Palmer does not get player of the season. Might get young player of the season. Yeah, maybe. I might agree with that. Right, should we dive into the Thomas Tuchel chat then? Because there was a lot of stuff going on last night. Of course, after the Bayern Munich crashing out after going 1-0 up and Madrid doing what Madrid doing. And Joselu, would you believe it or not, who's played for like Newcastle and Stoke, getting the double in a semi-final against Dortmund now in the final, which they're probably going to win, even though Dortmund were quite resilient against PSG. But I believe this is Bayern's first season now without a trophy in 12 years, is it? Or something. Which is, there's context to it because Leverkusen are going to win like a bit of a fake treble potentially, and they've gone unbeaten all season. So that's very difficult to compete with. And likewise, last night, there's the whole thing, and loads of people were losing their mind about him taking Harry Kane off. Why is he taking Kane off? Why is he doing this? And then obviously later it comes to fruition, his back was fucked and he couldn't continue. So he had to take him off. At the time, obviously, he was questioning it and he was like, they've now equalised. You need goal scorers on the pitch and you got Chupo fucking Moteng. You got two strikers who played for Stoke. How funny is that? I didn't even think about that. Chupo Moteng at one end and Joselu at the other. And Joselu steals it. Crazy. Anyway. You had the Harry Kane, which a lot of people questioning. You also had Manuel Neuer as well, who showing why he's still one of the best goalkeepers in Europe, and then at the same time completely ruins it with that fumble. He does a bit of a carrier stunner. Shot gets fired at him from Vinicius, bobbles a bit, loses it, and then Madrid go and score, and then that's kind of how they get back into the game. And you also had the Madrid effect to consider as well. Madrid have done it against so many teams: Chelsea, City, PSG, Bayern Munich recently, of course. They just have this Madrid, just this heritage, man. They just have this fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't necessarily blame it all on Tuchel, to be honest. I think he set him up pretty good. There was a couple of individual mistakes, a couple of questionable subs, you could maybe say, but it's not put me off. It's not completely put me off Thomas Tuchel. I still think he's a great manager. if he would have got to that final against Dortmund, and if buts and coconuts, I get it. But if he would have got to that final against Dortmund, I think he probably would have won that. Even if not, you're talking about, finals with Chelsea, won the Champions League, final with PSG, and then a final with Bayern as well. It's very small margins in football, and I think people are so quick to overlook or just react to certain things. People go on Twitter, they copy and paste people's opinions and react like, basically. Form your own opinion. Don't just fucking look at what everyone else is putting. Really do your due diligence and research this guy and look at the way he plays. And then if you have an opinion, if you sit there and say, I don't like his style, I don't like the way he kind of grains against players, I don't like this, I don't like that, that's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair. Tuchel terrible. Why is he in the mix? I don't think he is terrible. I'd rather have Tuchel than Southgate. Let me tell you that for a fucking fact. For a fact. I would rather have Tuchel than Southgate. I'd rather have Tuchel than the majority of managers that we're linked with. Tic Tac says, Eric Ten Hag project is dead to me. Tuchel's a great option. If Tuchel went to Celtic, he'd finish third. That's from Andrew Robertson. Imagine it's the actual left back. Bruno, the right age to be the third in that midfield trio. I agree. Abibi Desilo says, I need to Thomas Tuchel. I've already read that out, sorry. Touchy Thomas Tinkle. He's been spending too long in Bangkok, Sean. It's because Ancelotti got the eyebrow out. It's what Don Carlo does. I mean, their heritage in Europe and Champions League is just unbelievable, innit? Unbelievable. The best in football, in world football. They are, man. They are just built for the Champions League. It doesn't matter what phase they're in or whatever kind of season they're having. The way they play, how defensive they are, resilient, and then the counter-attacks with players like Rodrigo and Bellingham and Vinicius. And then you're going to add Mbappe into that pack as well. Oh, my word. They are going to be such a dangerous team. And I think Sam made a great point on the show he was doing the other day. I think it was when we was live with Jay. And he was saying that, I think he said he thinks Xabi Alonso for the Madrid, to go and manage Madrid when Ancelotti fucks off in a year or whatever it is. He thinks that's why he's staying at Leverkusen for a year and then take that job. And then if Xabi Alonso, a young manager who takes that squad with young players, I mean, you could have a long reign there, I think he'd be perfect for it, and I think Madrid might be looking at it as well. Who knows? I mean, he turned down Liverpool, so yeah. Bayern robbed, and Mainoo's up there for the reward, but Cole Palmer will get it. Hey, if you get Tuchel, you get Eric Dyer to join Johnny Evans at the back. Oh, no. Johnny Evans is getting a job at United, as far as I'm aware, so I don't think he'll be playing for United next season, but, stranger things have happened. And also, Eric Dyer, that alone, bringing him, United fans wouldn't accept that. And I think Tuchel will probably know that as well. Like, you can't bring Eric Dyer over, come on. Although I don't think he's been bad for Bayern Munich, in fairness. I think it's one of those names that people hear it, they remember him for Spurs, and instantly they just say, nice shit. But he's been okay for Bayern if you've actually watched him. It's the reason why he's starting over Kim Min-jae and a couple of others. Because he's been better. He's been performing better. And gives the manager that he wants. James from Muppeteers says Xabi Alonso is Ineos' first choice for manager. Or was Ineos'. Yeah, he would have been fantastic, but Xabi Alonso's he's got his pick, hasn't he? We could have gone Liverpool. I'm sure he'll get an option for Madrid when Ancelotti leaves. Bayern Munich wanted him as well. I'm sure there was fucking loads of teams. If Pep was leaving this season, they'd probably look at Xabi Alonso. That's how good of a manager he is. You look at the fluidity he plays with, the possession-based, how they create certain angles and overloads. Like they are really impressive to watch. Really impressive. Just heard Van Dijk to Dortmund. I don't know where you heard that, but it's nonsense. Dyer and Kane at Bayern is something straight out of career mode. I'm Ten Hag in. We need to back him. Well, it's an interesting debate, innit? And I'm sure the game on the weekend is going to be a big decider for that. Or maybe not. I don't know. If we get battered by Arsenal at the weekend, I mean, is there any more? Is there anything else he could possibly do to get himself sacked if we get beat by Arsenal? It's like, right, we're in different phases. If we get battered, if it's like an 8-2, a reverse fixture of what we did, a mirrored thing there, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think Ineos are just waiting for the inevitable. They're waiting for their FA Cup final. Once that happens, when we had the Muppeteers on, he said July 1st. keep an eye out for July 1st. So I don't know if a certain clause kicks in then, or I have no idea. But we need to start getting a move on, because we've got 3-4 games left at the end of the season. We've got an FA Cup final, and it seems to be getting worse. So, I mean, we've just been slapped 4-0 off Palace. And Tactic makes a fucking great point there. Do we have a defence for Arsenal? Well, that is what we are going to discuss in the preview, me and Sam. I'm not sure who else is on. But we're going to dive into the intricacies of that Arsenal game, how we can set up, what's the best way we can try and get a result. It's at Old Trafford. There's something in that. There'll be pressure on Arsenal. So yeah, a lot of dynamics to discuss. We'll be live at 7 o'clock for the preview, so please do make sure you come and join us. We're 16 off 5,000 people. 16 off. If you're in TikTok and you love football content, please do click the link in the description and hit that subscribe button. If you could be as kind. Yeah, I think I can leave it at that. And when we do it 5K, we'll have a nice little celebration. Who knows? Might be on the preview later on for the Arsenal one. So yeah. Also, the tier list we dropped yesterday, which is a pre-recorded video. We go through every member of the squad, or the majority of the members of the squad, and we have a red section, a mango section, yellow, and then a green section for the players that we would definitely keep. And this section called "Get Your Hands Off Him," and we've got, you know, the kind of definitely sell, and there's a couple in there that are quite controversial. So yeah, make sure you check the tier list out. I think the link is in the description, so you can just click it straight from here, or just click on the channel if you're on YouTube if you haven't already seen it. I know there's some members in the chat who have already watched it, and there was some nice comments in there, so appreciate that. But yeah, if you can check the tier list video out, check the interview we did with Jay Motti as well from Stretford Paddock, which is really good, and come and join us later on, like I said, for the preview, which I've already said about 5 times. But yeah, anyway, take it easy. Thank you for the follow, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you in a bit. Apologies about the technology mess as well.